Welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is Jorge Esperanza.
My name is Londa Sherwood Austin. Welcome back.
I'm glad to be here with you. My name's actually David Austin. I'm just feeling like I'm in a fun, flirty mood today.
Oh.
You've got some bare shoulder happening, and I really like it.
Stop it.
I do like it.
Okay.
The Session with Londa and David is a business program, and what we do here is we talk about three things that are acutely important to our lives and our businesses. Londa, what are they?
And everyone's lives and businesses: restaurants, real estate, and retail sales.
I don't know that they're acutely important to
Sure they are.
everyone's businesses. Tell me how.
Everyone buys and sells homes over their lifetime.
Yes.
Everyone goes to restaurants, and everyone buys things in stores. Retail sales.
Okay, there you go.
This is a podcast for everyone. Anyone who's in sales, which if you're on this planet, you're in sales.
That's absolutely true. If you have an interpersonal relationship with someone,
Trust, you're in sales. Yeah.
and I don't care who it is, if you have a relationship with one parent, you're selling that parent all the time, or have kids even.
There's your coffee that I made for you.
Thank you.
But I've been drinking it.
And the S stands for what?
Sherwood.
Oh, there you go. For Sherwood Austin Homes.
There you go.
Very fun. I like it.
Yeah. So what do you got going on?
Well, it's a busy day today. I've got appointments all day. I've got a class that I have to
Everybody
go to.
clap for David. He's
Well,
very busy.
you asked me what I have going on.
I know. I'm
have
teasing.
appointments, and then I have a trombone rehearsal in the middle of the day, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then we're going to take a super secret road trip tonight and maybe wake up in a hotel in another town tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, it's August 1st. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We are recording this on August 1st.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. That's right. And the reason I bring it up is because the year is shooting by.
Yeah. I don't know how you want to expand on that, but go ahead.
Well, you know, the 8th month of the year is crazy to me because it seems like we just started. And I don't know if you're aware, I've been putting 24 on paperwork that I fill out all year long, and it seems like it's 1997 to me. I mean, time is shooting by at a crazy
They say that's
rate.
what happens when you get older.
Yeah. You know, we're closer to 2050 than we are 1990. And that to me sounds nuts.
Yeah. That's the reality of life, right?
I guess. I don't get it.
Well, now is the time of year to pull back the lens and take a look at 2024 and kind of see where you are.
Right.
You've got one more full quarter and a part of a quarter
Right.
to get her done, you know? So take a look and make adjustments.
And if you're not doing the things you planned to do in 2024, it's not too late to pivot.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think that's an important point to maybe discuss is people who think they're stuck because they don't know how to pivot, or people who freak out about change
Right.
because they don't know how, or they're uncomfortable with pivoting.
Right.
You have to pivot in this life. You just have to. Change is constant, and you're not stuck. And we've said it from day one on this podcast. You're not stuck.
Right.
You're not a tree. You know, you can go anywhere and do anything. If you're unhappy with your life, turn it around and make it look like you want it to look, you know?
Well, and that's interesting that you use the phrase, if you're unhappy with your life. If you're happy with your life, you can still try to become happier and do things that feed your soul.
Sure. I think what I hear from people a lot of the time, people who talk with us, is, well, that's easy for you.
Right. I hear that all the time.
Well, that's easy for you, but
Right.
I'm stuck in this, or but I have to be whatever. I have to stay in this job because fill in the blank.
Right.
All the things that people say. I have to stay in this relationship because fill in the blank.
Right.
I have to stay in this city because fill in the blank.
Sure.
And the reality is, if you could let your brain let go of perceived obligations,
Yes.
and just dream again, you might see things differently.
Well, and there are ways to prepare to be able to be unstuck as well. Here's what I mean by that. Some people have crushing debt, and they feel trapped under the weight of the debt that they have to pay on monthly, and may have a job they don't love, but it helps them to pay on the crushing debt. I would tell you this. The first way to be unstuck is to get rid of your debt.
Yeah.
If you get rid of your debt, you have a lot more options. You know, I used to have a very expensive life. Mm-hmm. I no longer have an expensive life because I don't have debt.
Right.
You know, I don't have someone spending the money that I make except for me.
Right.
So my life and my options are way more open than they ever have been before. And that's because I don't have debt and I don't have a spending problem.
You do have to set goals, and work toward those. When we first got married, we decided we wanted to have lots of choices and lots of options. And so we set a goal. Okay.
Right.
To be able to have those choices, we need to have X amount of dollars in the bank.
That's right.
And it took us 6 months
maybe
to get there,
if that.
And God bless 2019 and 2020. They were good to us,
They were, yeah.
And so it didn't take us very long. And then, I can even hear people now, oh, well, that's for you, not for me. I can't do that. You can. Your own limiting beliefs in your brain are keeping you from believing that. And, I get it. It took me a long time to get myself into a mindset where I realized I wasn't stuck in my life.
Right.
I did feel stuck in some things for a long time. And it took me about 6 years to kind of wrap my head around, hey, you know what? Actually, I'm not stuck.
Right.
And I can make these decisions even though they're going to be hard. So I don't want to pretend that changing your life doesn't come with consequences. There are consequences to your actions, and there is a cost to pay for changing your life. And some of that is, like a rebate, right? You get more than what you thought. And some of it is a payment that you pay. So you got to look at all that stuff. And the point being, you're just not stuck. And I don't know what any of that has to do with real estate, restaurants, and retail sales. But
let me make it really simple for you. If you are complaining because of market conditions, you are looking for the bad in life.
Sure.
We had a conversation yesterday about the new forms coming to Washington State Realtors about how you're no longer going to advertise on the MLS how much buyer agent commission you're going to give as a seller on the MLS. So buyer's agents are freaking out saying, well, I'm not going to work for free and la, 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 la. I don't know why we're all racing to the bottom and looking for the bad here. Here's the deal. If you are helping buyers, you need to negotiate your value up front with your buyer. Then on the offer, you present that value that your buyer has already agreed to. It's that simple.
It's just another term of the contract seller can accept, reject, or counter.
That's exactly right. Now, a lot of people, lenders specifically, are trying to solve problems like, well, what if the seller doesn't pay commission? We need to stop racing to the bottom. We, as professionals in any industry, counsel the people who work with us. They look toward us for that counseling, right?
Right. They look for us to lead them and give them direction.
Absolutely. So I would say if you're listing a house, and by the way, I'm both a licensed realtor and a licensed mortgage loan officer. If you're listing a house, it's up to you to coach your seller on how to make their house most attractive. One of those things you may say is, hey, we got to clear the clutter out of this house. One of the things you may say is, hey, that busted sprinkler in the back that goes off every day at 3 p.m, somebody's going to walk up and see that geyser. You're going to need to fix that.
Right.
Just like, hey, most people expect to be paid as realtors who show your house, so we're going to need to agree on some compensation ideas up front. Are you open to that? And then that's the conversation. Right. And when you've had that conversation, you're okay. Some sellers are going to see the stories on the news because the news is sensational, and it's going to say sellers no longer have to pay commissions. Sellers never had to pay commissions, by the way, right? Never. People don't disclose fees correctly. And I know that because I've been a lender for 21 years. And guess what? Several years ago, the lending industry said, oh, no, we need to over-disclose our fees. That's now what's happening to real estate. That's it. Fees aren't changing. They're just needing to be discussed more.
Right.
I don't understand the fear that's in realtors' heads about this. But what I can tell you is there's a huge opportunity for business people who want to coach their clients. And that is exciting. That's how it pertains to You're Not Stuck. A lot of people in their jobs feel like outside circumstances are putting them in their position. That's being reactive. That's not being a professional.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the soapbox. I need to get
Thank
right
you.
off it right now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about what I told you just now, what we just discussed?
I agree.
Okay.
And if this is all that I want to say about it,
Okay.
if you're in the industry and you're feeling uncomfortable with the changes, David and I both are very open to having a brief conversation and help you navigate it, because we're making it more difficult than what it needs to be, people.
Right.
It's actually very simple. We're all going to get through this. It's not that big of a deal. Change is inevitable.
Right.
So, reach out. We'll be able to help you navigate that.
Yeah. And I got news for
Easily.
you. This is coming at just the right time. Here's why. The Fed is going to lower the Fed fund
Yeah, will
rate.
you talk about that a little bit and what we're going to see as a result?
Well, once the Fed lowers the Fed fund rate, every single news media organization in America is going to say things like, it's getting cheaper to buy a house. It's going to be the best advertising in the history of all time for home sales and home lending. It'll be free advertising, and you better be ready to capture some of those gains, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. They've already announced it. They're saying inflation's lower. They're making advanced moves to show that this is going to happen. When it does, the floodgates are going to open up.
Do we know what the timing might be on that?
Well, it's going to happen this year.
Okay.
That's what we know for sure. We know they say it's going to happen this year.
So what I'm telling my realtors that I coach and work with is fill your pipeline with listings.
Yes.
And prep your sellers to be on the market until the end of the year.
Yes.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So because you want to be ready when it hits, and
Right.
it is going to be pay dirt, baby.
Well, and the thing is, realtors have kind of put themselves in this situation.
100%.
And here's what I mean. Back in February, new home applications were down something like 22% year over year. Refinances were only down 7%.
Right.
year
That was
over
wild,
year.
right?
So telling me people aren't buying houses because of interest rates is unfounded. People aren't buying houses because realtors said things like, you really should take a pause here and wait until the market comes back a little bit. Well, let me tell you, those realtors that said that back in February are broke right now because they've convinced their customers not to use their goods and services.
Right.
Can you imagine walking into the shoe store and saying, hey, I need a new pair of sneakers? Oof, let me tell you, the price of rubber's going through the roof. I don't recommend buying Nikes
God,
right
that's
now.
a really good comparison.
It makes no sense. There's no business that is open to the public where it's advisable to say, please don't use me for your own good.
Right.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
People have housing needs. In fact, everywhere you go, they're talking about housing shortages.
Right.
You're in such a good position if you're in lending or real estate right now because there's some uncharted territory, and people who become legendary in their industries did it when the rules were unclear and they forged the way.
Yep.
That's what's happening
That's it.
right now in real estate. Right now.
Yep. I said to someone yesterday, the people who will win during this transition are the people who pivot and adapt quickly.
Absolutely.
Instead of looking at how it can't work, please, for the love of all things good, start brainstorming how it could work. And I'm not just talking about that, anything.
Here's the deal. Think of the most successful real estate agent that you've ever known. Think of that person. Picture that person in your head. I don't care who it is. Maybe it's the guy in the Selling New York show.
No.
Servant or Sirhant or whatever his name is. Maybe it's one of those people.
I got it.
And wonder if they're thinking the sky is falling right now. They're not.
Right.
They're figuring out ways to be more successful with the changes, not less successful. Mm-hmm. Let's all collectively think about ways to win for ourselves, for our families, and for our clients. Let's do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're a professional problem solver, you're going to get paid.
That's exactly right.
So get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't.
It's no different than like right now. Restaurants need to get real creative to get people in the door.
Yes.
You better start recapturing your customer service because your prices are through the roof.
Right.
And more people are choosing to avoid restaurants because of the price. Groceries are up 30%.
Yeah.
Is that right? And so it's hard enough to put groceries in your house, let alone go out to eat. So the customer service needs to be impeccable. The food needs to be incredible. Like that's an industry where also there is an opportunity to shine for somebody.
That's right.
Somebody has an incredible opportunity. And if you need your staff trained, call me because I also do that.
Yeah.
So
sales coaching. How can people reach you if they want to talk to you about coaching?
My name is Londa Sherwood Austin. Google that. Literally, I have a very unique name and I'm very lucky that way. And so I don't really have to give phone number and email for you to remember. My name is Londa
Londa.
Sherwood Austin. It's easy. Just Google it.
Hashtag I am Fonda Londa.
Yeah. Yep. And all my social media platforms are open. They're not private, that kind of thing. I'm super, super easy to find.
Yeah. So we're only a month and 11 days away from our anniversary.
Aww.
I'm super excited about that. Mm-hmm. We will have been married for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we have been together for 5 years and 3 weeks on our anniversary, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yes. And I am taking you to Hawaii.
That's going to be fun.
For our anniversary.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
I love going to Hawaii, and I love going there with you.
I've only been once, and it wasn't great, but I'm hoping this will be a redemption trip.
I went there for my 20th anniversary in my last marriage and immediately got divorced.
Yeah.
So let's not do that. Let's play it differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
Now, my ex-wife wasn't, doing things to cause the divorce on that trip. It's just ironic how that worked out.
Right.
Yeah. I went to a business conference right after that and talked about that. And one of the guys that I was talking to looked at me like I was kidding and he was waiting for the punchline. And I said, no, I'm serious.
Was that the business conference where you set your goals?
Yeah.
Will you tell us about that? Do you mind sharing that?
Well,
just what your goals were.
Yeah.
And where you are now 6 years forward or 7, whatever it is.
Okay.
What goals did you set and where are you now with those?
Well, I'm
just curious.
That at that particular conference, we were talking about living our best lives, right? Mm-hmm. It was a speaker that had us plan out our best lives.
It's like every conference you go to. Yeah.
And everybody did the 1 or 2 perfunctory business responses like, have people in the office be more productive and, close more business. And then the speaker talked about personal goals. And I talked about feeling more loved and adored, having more music in my life. And I don't remember all of the ones that I did, but I had the conversation with my now ex-wife, and she said, yeah, you really should find a lady that wants to do those with you. That'd be great. You should do that. Mm. And it still took me a
And
few
you
weeks
didn't
for
have
that
to.
sink
You
in.
didn't have to share that part. That's not where I was getting at.
Well, but whatever the case, those goals that I set for 2017 are fully realized. All of them fully realized, because for me, feeling like I'm part of a team or a unit, and feeling seen and heard and loved and adored. That's what I meant by loved and adored, by the way. Those are things that you provide, and it's not work for you.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's easy.
And it's certainly not work for me. It's easy for me. Anyway, and I'm not saying anything that is derogatory about my ex-wife. She's a lovely woman, and we're still very close and have 2 beautiful children together. So there's no problem there. And when we got divorced, we had a divorce party.
Yeah. Weird. Okay. So your goals, checkity check.
Yeah.
So what are some new goals?
Well, I set a goal about 2 years ago to engineer my life to spend at least 92% of my life
92.
with you. Yes, because I realize there's some sleep going on. There's other things that I do in appointments that don't involve you. So, I've engineered my life to be able to actually accomplish that goal. And I love it. I couldn't be happier. We do this show together. We have a real estate business together. We work together when I'm the lender and you're the realtor. I mean, we have wonderful symbiotic lives. And I think it's the best thing in the whole wide world. So that was a goal I set about a year and a half ago, because I just am tickled pink by being in your presence. I don't know what my new goals are. My goals in my life now are based on feeling emotionally fulfilled and helping other people. So as long as I can help other people and feel emotionally fulfilled, I'm thrilled out of my mind. And who knew the money follows that, by the way? Who knew?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Money comes racing right after you. When
I
those
love
are your
closing
goals.
deals, but I love helping other people close deals.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. So when somebody when I'm coaching someone, mentoring someone, and I can see the light bulb come on.
Right.
And then I hear them start saying my words back to me.
Right.
I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're almost there. And every single time, it's right about that time, they start getting things under contract. They start gaining momentum. It's awesome. I love it, what I get to do with people. And I, often we start seeing some results within about 30 days of working together. I meet with them once a week.
Right.
So, we start getting some things in the pipeline, start getting some deals under contract in about 30 days. And that's really, really, really fun.
Yeah. Well, and I feel the same way, right? As a sales coach, I did broadcast sales, and I've done mortgage sales, and now real estate sales, and I've coached people the entire way along. I think no matter what you're selling, it's all the same. If you care about people and want to help people, you can be successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowing everything about what a car's engine has in it doesn't help you sell cars. Listening to people helps you sell cars.
Yep.
Having some peripheral knowledge of that, there are people who want to know the specs. You know what you should do in that case? Give them the brochure to the vehicle. That's what you should do, right? But knowing people and listening to people.
Wait, let me pause right there. The way that I would do that is if you ask me, for example, a technical question about a car.
Right.
And I don't know what that question would be. Do you have any idea?
How many valves does your engine have?
Is 6 an answer that could be real?
Yep.
I don't know. Okay. This car's got 6 valves. Hey, I'm curious though. Why is it important for you to know that?
Right.
The what? There's a why behind the what.
Right. Yes.
So get to the why.
Right. Yes. You should know your product enough to be able to speak intelligently about it, but
Sure.
it's much more important to listen than to talk.
We have our RV for sale, you guys. It's on Facebook Marketplace. Someone please buy it. And it's under value. It's so competitively priced, and it's an incredible vehicle. And if you want to know more about it, reach out, Londa Sherwood Austin. But someone was texting me the other day asking me questions about it, and I sent them the full listing, and they said, how many miles per gallon does it get? And I said, honestly, I don't know. We never really paid attention. We were too busy having adventures and fun, and that was the honest answer.
Sure.
And so I wasn't able to answer that question. Shit, I don't know.
Well, I can tell you this.
Do you remember, though? Your grandparents? Did your grandparents do this? Because I remember my grandparents doing this. They tracked their mileage like their lives depended on it.
My grandmother
there
had
was
a
little notebook
Yeah.
in the glove box, and they would, every time they stopped to fill the car, she was writing everything down and calculating the miles per gallon. And let me tell you, if it was not what it was supposed to be, she was yelling at my grandpa because he was probably speeding, or they knew, at 60 miles an hour, I get this, at 50, I get this, this kind of gas I get. If we go to that gas station, we get better gas mileage than if we go to that gas station. I mean, you know what? When it runs low, I put gas in it. That's all I know.
Well, my car, in my Ford Fusion, has a little graphic that happens on the dashboard when I'm in maximum efficiency.
Oh, really?
It tells me I get 40 miles to the gallon. Sometimes when I hit the gas hard, it drops, and it shows it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care at all is the answer.
Yeah.
I have no interest at all. What I can tell you this about our RV is it was similar in size to the U-Haul that we drove across the country. And the U-Haul was unleaded gasoline and the RV was diesel. And I filled up approximately half as much in the RV as I did that U-Haul.
Yeah. So if you want to see the RV, it is on Facebook Marketplace, or you can get in touch with me. I will happily send you the whole listing. It's a beautiful. We just showed it to some people the other morning, and they were so sad because they were getting on a plane that day, and they're like, I don't think we have time to go to the bank. But they did request some information from me for their bank. So if you want it, you better get on it because somebody's sniffing around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an awesome RV. He asked me, he said, so tell me, and he looks at me very quizzically, why are you selling this awesome RV if it's so awesome? I said, oh, that's easy. When we bought it, Londa was just getting over cancer, and she said to me one Wednesday, I want to go explore. And that day we bought the RV, and we were kind of living like we were semi-retired because everything was virtual. So we could be anywhere. We could be on a mountain in Colorado, and I could do my job. Now people are back to work. So now I'm back to work full time. So I've got this nice RV and don't have the time or availability to putter around in it. So that's why I'm selling it. The expense outweighs the benefit because I don't have time to use it.
Right.
And he's like, oh, yep, that makes sense.
Yep.
And interestingly, he, I believe, is of retirement age.
His wife is about to retire.
There you go.
So they're very excited. Anyway. All right. What else you got?
I don't have much more. I talked a lot. I didn't talk at all about politics, which is good.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Yeah. I'm having fun watching these political battles going on television. I really am.
Here we go.
Nope, I'm not talking about politics. It's like the Olympics, right? Everybody pick a team and root for your team.
Yeah.
That's how I look at politics.
Well, I'm having a hot flash, so I guess it's time to wrap it up.
It's getting hot in here?
Yeah. It is.
Too bad that song's copyrighted, or I'd start playing it right now.
Yeah.
So that's it? That's all there is then? Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, we're about 30 minutes into it. I got to teach a class in 20 minutes. So.
Okay. And that's going to be a fun class. Next week, we'll talk about that class because I'm excited what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm providing a really unique experience for my agents.
Hey, feel free to jump on YouTube and search for The Session with Londa and David to see this thing that we call the podcast. If you want to listen to it, you can find it anywhere you find podcasts. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. It's on things that I don't even know what it's on. It's on everything where you can get a podcast.
You can go to YouTube and watch me glistening right now.
The Session with Londa and David. And you look beautiful, by the way.
Thank
this whole
you.
thing you got cooking. And it's too hot in our office. I'm going to complain. I'm going to file a formal complaint.
You'll write a strongly worded email.
That's exactly right. For Londa, Joanne, Sherwood, Austin, my name's David Austin, and this has been another edition of The Session with Londa and David. We'll see you again next week.